Okay, folks, this is the inaugural video of a new series, Vile Reviews. Title may change. Starring yours truly and my exceptional progeny, the Vile Child herself, Katty Night.
What up, people?
I have been a Star Trek fan for as long as I can remember, and I've shared that with my daughter. But I have been negligent. I've never actually watched any of the shows with her, only the movies. So we are going to watch all the episodes of the original series together, me as an old fan and her as a newbie. Why don't you tell everyone about your earliest Star Trek related memory? We are going to watch the series as it originally aired, but we are watching the remastered versions as I have never actually seen those yet. So some things will be new for me as well. Starting with the man trap. Opening scene is with Spock in the captain's chair, so Katty is already fangirling.
Shut it.
So Kirk, McCoy, and Ensign Expendable beam down to the planet, totally not a set. And I don't know if the remastered version updated the beaming effect, but it still looks cool. They meet Nancy Crater, an old flame of Dr. McCoy, and each of the men sees her slightly differently. McCoy sees her as she looked when they last met, Kirk sees a slightly older version, and Ensign Expendable sees a hot blonde. I like how they shift between the images of women... Dang it. I like how they shift between the images of the women between McCoy and Kirk.
Skirk?
Shut it. They are just subtle enough. They are just subtle enough not to make anyone leap to the conclusion that they are actually different. But once we see Ensign Expendable sees a completely different person, we know that something is up with Nancy. Of course, when she sashays away from Ensign Expendable and he follows her, we know that something bad will happen to him, despite not wearing a red shirt.
And that means...
Don't worry, you'll get it after a few more episodes. Sure enough, he is found later, dead, with red circles on his face.
Oh my god!
Nancy says he ate a poisonous plant which killed him. Back on the ship, Uhura and Spock have a conversation.
Why is she trying to flirt with Spock? Like, why?
Yeah, I doubt that kind of writing would have fly today. She abruptly changes tone when he is informed that there was a death in the landing party, but shows no concern.
No shoot, Sherlock. He is a Vulcan.
In sickbay, Kirk and McCoy talk about how confusing the death of Ensign Expendable was.
We get it. He was not killed by a plant full of poison. I need to redo the line. We get it. He was not killed by a plant full of poison.
We get the best acting of Shatner this entire episode in this scene, when Kirk yells at McCoy about having lost a man.
Back on the bridge.
Uhura tells Kirk of an incoming message from a Commander Dominguez about cargo he urgently needs. Kirk says, "Tell Jose he will get his chili peppers when they get there. Tell him they are prime Mexican reds, that he, Kirk, picked himself." Kirk implies that a person named Jose Dominguez calls chili peppers an urgently needed cargo. Is that racist? To answer this question, I go to my resident specialist on Latin affairs. Is that racist?
Soy mexicana y no encuentro esto racista. Todos sabemos la importancia que tiene el chile en nuestra cultura. I'm Mexican and I don't find this racist at all. We all know what chile means for Mexican culture. So, relax, it's funny.
Okay, that's good at least. So they finally figure out that Ensign Expendable died because he was drained of all salt in his body. Kirk and McCoy beam back down to the planet with two totally not going to die crew members. Want to say anything?
I don't have anything to say, so, no.
Okay. They have a conversation with Dr. Crater about Ensign Expendable and how he died, and how both Crater and Nancy mentioned the need for more salt tablets earlier in the episode. A subtle hint earlier. Then Kirk says to Dr. Crater this gem.
But it's a mystery, and I don't like mysteries. Give me a bellyache, and I got a beauty right now.
Aw, poor Cookie got a little bellyache. I'm sorry, but that line was just dumb. Dr. Crater runs off, finds totally not going to die crew member number 1 dead on the ground, also with red circles on his face, with Nancy over the body of totally not going to die crewman number 2. Kirk and McCoy discover totally not going to die crew member number 1. They do not find Green, the real name of totally not going to die crew member number 2, because Nancy transforms into him.
McCoy starts yelling for Nancy, thinking she may be in danger, but Kirk tells him to stop thinking with your glands. Stop thinking with your glands? What? You may have to use that in the future. I am in high school after all.
Kirk, McCoy, and not Green beam up to the ship. I would like to say at this time that the remastered Enterprise looks just beautiful. The shots of it are simple, but really well done.
I agree.
Can you do it not sing-songy?
I agree.
Spock runs a planet-wide scan only to find one human life sign. Are you telling me that the science officer Spock failed to run a scan for life signs the moment they got into orbit? Someone was not doing his Vulcan job.
We start to follow Not Green as he goes through the ship. He spies on Miss Shortskirt Beehive, sprinkling salt on some food.
That's Yeoman Rand.
Whatever. How do they not realize that one of their crew members is acting so weird?
They never do.
So, Not Green and Miss Beehive get off the elevator.
Turbo lift.
How do you know that?
1, I've watched a lot more Star Trek than you. 2, it says so above the door.
Ugh, whatever. They get off the Turbolus, and a group of guys, is that supposed to be flirting? Is that for me? You wish.
It was the 60s.
Anyway, Green McCreepyface continues to creep around.
Rand, it seems, finally reached her destination, the botany department, where she gives the tray of food to Sulu, who has a hand puppet plant named Gertrude.
Gertrude? I agree with Miss Beehive, Beauregard is better.
Either way, Green enters and Katty here thought Sulu was a dead man.
I was wrong as he was saved by the plant's danger alarm.
You say that without laughing?
But I was wrong as he was saved by the plant's danger alarm.
So, not Green flees, but Sulu and Rand, do nothing about his strange behavior. Not Green comes across Uhura and transforms into tall, dark, and sexy. Excuse me?
What? Nothing.
Anyway, Uhura is saved by the bell, or rather a call from the bridge. So the creature goes off looking for a new victim, and he finds random crew person. We cut to McCoy, who can't sleep. So he takes a sleeping pill, and later the creature comes across his quarters and turns into Nancy again. Nancy tucks him into bed, while Sulu and Rand find the random crew member dead, with red circles on his face.
That's not how you check for a pulse.
Meanwhile, not Nancy turns into not McCoy, when the real McCoy...
Why are you pausing?
For laughter.
No one thinks that is funny.
Fine, when the real McCoy is sleeping and called to the bridge.
The camera work for the reveal that the creature turned into McCoy is actually pretty good.
So Kirk and Spock beam down to the planet to confront Dr. Crater, but he is hiding and armed. Kirk and Spock try to capture Crater via some unorthodox tactics.
Kirk, I would love to point out to you that everyone can see you.
Kirk manages to stun the Doctor, but wait. Did the phaser make a ricochet sound like a bullet?
Sounded more like a boink.
Phasers set to boink? Kirk and Spock interrogate the stunned but still able to talk Crater.
I can barely hear what he is saying, though.
Well, he was boinked. Crater explains more about the creature and says it was the last of its kind and he has been keeping it safe even though it killed the original Nancy because the creature took Nancy's form and he's weird.
Lost!
Back on the Enterprise, they search for the creature and can't find it as it's now impersonating McCoy. They have a meeting about how to find the creature, with Crater and not McCoy advising not to kill it. I like the seriousness of the scene, with the creature hiding in plain sight, and Kirk giving an impromptu speech right in front of it. Spock suggests using a truth serum on Crater, as he can see the creature in any form. Spock and not McCoy go to get the serum, but the creature attacks Spock. It does not kill Spock because he's half Vulcan, but now we know it was pretending to be McCoy. The creature kills Crater and flees to the real McCoy's quarters to take Nancy's form again.
No real McCoy boss this time?
No, you're right, it wasn't funny the first time.
Good. Kirk goes to McCoy's quarters.
Without security escort for reasons.
It is so. They can do the protagonists. Have an argument before the climax thing. A fight ensues and the creature attacks Kirk with McCoy looking on. Yay, Spock to the rescue!
Were you channeling Shatner there for a second? How are you channeling Shatner if you've never seen him beyond this episode? And a couple of movies.
He's actually appeared in My Little Pony before.
Okay. Spock wailing on the creature could use better choreography, and he gets knocked away really easily.
The monster moves in for the Kirk kill. And what the heck? Is that actually what it looks like?
It was the best they could do at the time.
It looks like a mix between a bug and an octopus.
You're weird. Kirk just screams and lets the creature put its hands all over his face. McCoy finally fires a phaser on it.
It got blinked.
Unfortunately, the creature is not stunned or killed.
Really? It turns back into Nancy and tries the old, I love you, how could you do this to me trick. He knows you are an evil death alien now.
McCoy is not fooled and finally kills the creature with a second phaser blast. With the creature and crater dead, the Enterprise warps off. And credits. So, what did you think of the episode overall?
Pretty good. Kind of predictable, but good.
Since this is the first episode, what do you think of the Enterprise as a ship?
It looks plain, somewhat, at least from the outside. The inside's okay.
Do you think you want to watch more of these episodes with me?
Yeah.
Too bad. You're already contracted for the whole series. Okay. Next time we will watch the episode Charlie X.
Does the X make it cooler?
You'll have to wait and see. Later, all.
Bye-bye! Kirk goes to McCoy's quarter. What the f? Good. Kirk goes to McCoy's craters. McCoy's craters. What the hell are words? What are words? What are words? Good. Kirk, I can't say this line now. Good. Kirk goes to McCoy's quarters. Quarters. Craters. Quarters. Good. I can't say this damn line.
Deep breath.
Fine.
Alright, come on.
I'm laughing so hard though. Good. Kirk goes to McCoy's quarters.
Well, you
I'm laughing.
well, you at least said the line correctly this time. Now you gotta do it without laughing.
Good. Kirk goes to McCoy's quarters.
Yay!
I did it!
Illogical.